Thanks a lot, Barbara. Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Eichenberger. I'm a member of the executive board of Sygnum Bank. For those of you who don't know Sygnum Bank, we are a fully regulated bank here in Switzerland, have a subsidiary company also in Singapore, and have specialized completely and solely in digital assets. And when thinking and talking about new and innovative ways to preserve nature, I think it fits very nicely to also talk about new and innovative ways to fund such ambitions and activities, which is why I'm very excited to introduce you to the world of tokenization. Before we start, let's maybe make sure that we have a common understanding what asset tokenization really means. So let's get straight on two definitions. Asset tokenization is the process of securitizing ownership rights in a financial or real asset on a distributed ledger or on a blockchain. And I was actually very excited to also hear that Simon, in his speech, made reference to tokenization. So I think I'm in the right place here to talk about tokenization. So the end product of the process of asset tokenization is then a token, which eventually represents legally binding complete or fractional ownership in the underlying financial or real asset. So you can think of it very simply as a company issuing a share, which is then represented by a token on the blockchain. Or you could think of co-ownership in a real asset, such as a Picasso painting, which I'm talking about in a second, or also a field of solar panels, which then are represented by tokens. So tokenization is really an innovative means to bring issuers, so those who are in need of capital, and investors, those who want to deploy capital into meaningful investments, together in a more direct, secure, fast, and cost-efficient manner. So now let's look at what Sygnum Bank has developed in order to support that process. So what we have developed and are operating since almost a year already now is what we call an end-to-end tokenization solution covering the entire value chain, which starts from a primary market issuance platform that covers not only the legal and regulatory aspects about issuing a security as a token, but it also covers the technical issuance, so the deployment of a token on a blockchain. It comprises the advisory and distribution process in order to then raise funds for such a token or such a project, and then which is then eventually managed by an on-chain, so a digital subscription process that is also part of our integrated platform and solution. And once the capital has been raised and the token has been issued, obviously the journey doesn't stop. We are also operating a secondary market trading venue in terms of an organized trading facility where such tokens can then be traded among participants in that trading venue. Settlement also occurs fully on the blockchain through the means of our digital Swiss franc stablecoin that we have issued. We were also the world's first bank to issue a Swiss franc stablecoin on the blockchain. And then finally, this is all also embedded with an integrated custody solution that allows then our investors to also store their tokens in a fully secure manner on our platform without having the need to set up and maintain their own wallets, et cetera, et cetera. So things they may not necessarily be familiar with or they may not necessarily want to deal with. Now, unfortunately, we haven't had the chance to apply asset tokenization to nature-based solutions, which is probably also one of the reasons why I'm speaking here, and thanks a lot for the invitation, Barbara. But compared to others, we have already had the chance to really complete a number of projects where we applied asset tokenization very successfully. I have listed here 4 examples, which may not necessarily be directly relevant, but may hopefully help you as a piece of inspiration to draw your conclusions as to how this may be also applicable to your project or your activities. The one that is very prominent is Neo in Switzerland, the mobile banking app who has raised 5 million among 1,700 of their clients in order to turn their clients into co-owners by issuing participation certificates or shares or non-voting shares in the amount of 5 million in total, which will then be tokenized and made available, hopefully also for trading in a later stage on our platform. With Azimut, we have tokenized the portfolio of small and medium enterprises, enterprise loans in Italy, probably less relevant. With Fine Wine Capital, we have tokenized the portfolio of fine wine and made it investable for a broader community and a broader investor base. And finally, with Spectrum Utilis or Artemundi, we have tokenized the 4.5 million Swiss franc Picasso masterwork or masterpiece, La Fillette de Beret, which has been then distributed or subscribed to by more than 50 investors on our platform that now jointly co-own that piece of art. Now that I'm approaching the end of my presentation, let's also think a bit ahead of what and how this could be applicable to nature-based solutions and also the representatives that are here today. We could apply tokenization to many different things. I think the easiest one is to tokenize equity. So tokenize shares in a company that pursues activities around nature-based solutions. But we could obviously also think about tokenizing debt, be it by providing long-term financing for a project or by issuing a bond for a project that has been in place for a longer period of time. And finally, we could also tokenize infrastructure, be it the field of solar panels or similar, that could then be co-owned by a broader spectrum of investors who would benefit from the cash flows it generates. Thanks a lot, and looking forward to being in touch afterwards.
Thank you very much, Thomas. So now we would go to Santiago from NOAA.